Hello, welcome to Flosstube number 30. My name is Phoebe and this is my channel about cross stitch. I have an episode about every other week where we basically just talk about cross stitch. I do also enjoy crochet, but I haven't picked up my crochet whips, which are works in progress, in quite a while. So we're just going to talk about cross stitch. So if you have been following my channel, I've been doing Stitchmaynia for the month of May, which means that since my last video, I had 3 final days of Stitchmaynia. So this is going to be kind of like part 3 of Stitchmaynia 2023, but it's just going to be right at the front part. I had 3 new starts for the last 3 days of Mania. So if you don't know what Mania is and this is your first time coming to my channel, I choose in May to work on a different project for the first, this year it was 23 days of May because it's 2023. Next year I'll do it for the first 24 days of May. And most of those are projects that I started last year in Mania. So they were carryover projects, but I did have a number of new starts. So we're gonna go ahead and get into those new starts and then my whips. And I actually have a finish. Why don't we talk about my finish first? So it was my final whip that I worked on before this video and it turned into a finish and I'm really, really pleased with it. So actually that's what we'll do. We'll look at my finish first. I was hoping to have an FFO for you. Remember how I finished my birthday stitch from last August, which was Bee Stitches from Jeanette Douglas. I love that pattern. I was hoping to finish that into a pillow, but I just spent too much time stitching on my finish. I didn't have time to make my pillow this week. So I'll try to do that before my next video. So let's go ahead and take a look at my finish. Okay, I am very, very excited to start with my finish today. I've been monogamously stitching on this for maybe like the last 3 days, I think. Because I could tell I was close to a finish, so I just pushed through until I finished it. So this is Be Ye Thankful from With Thy Needle and Thread. And this was my day 3 Mania for this year. So that means I already have a piece I can cross off on this year's Mania. So this is stitched on a piece of 36 count that we actually dyed together in a few videos back. I have a hand dyeing your own fabric walkthrough portion of my video. It says it right in the title if you want to look for it. And we dyed this piece together. This was a more modeled piece to demonstrate how you can get like this more dramatic modeling. And this is stitched 1 strand over 2. Using the called for flosses. I actually didn't change, yes, I did change one thing. This darker blue color that I chose for the birds, it's Peacoat from Weeks, and the called for was Caper, and I wanted more of a blue, dark blue bird, so I forgot, I did change that. But anyway, really love this design. I love the font. I love everything about it. I love how the more subtle colors in the piece make the strong oranges stand out. And so yeah, I'm really, really pleased with this. So as you know, I started this on May 3rd. And it is a finish on June 4th is when I filmed this and when I finished it. So yes, I'm very, very excited. I am zooming in here a bit so you can see a little bit more of the stitching, and you'll have to let me know if you think I missed anything, but I think I've got it all in there. And I'm really excited for what next Brenda Gervais piece I'm gonna pick next. So, oh, you know what? I do see something that I missed. Did you all already notice that before I did? The little doorknob. I'll have to go in there and put the little doorknob in. So, yeah, that's everything about this. When I finished it, I stood up and I said, I'm finished. And Tim goes, congratulations. What did you do? And so I showed him and he goes, it's so small, which actually compared to a lot of things, it's not that small. Here's my hand size. But I told him it is small. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like cute and delicate and small. So that's kind of the point. So I am going to make this into a pillow. You guys know I love my pillow finishes. So very, very pleased to have this for autumn. And yeah, I don't know what else I can tell you about this, except for if you're thinking about stitching it, definitely do. And if you want to have the dark blue bird, that's Peacoat from Weeks. So that is my finish, and hopefully it'll be a fully finish in the next video. Maybe I'll have 2 pillows for you in the next video. All right, so that was a super fun stitch, you guys. I actually was sad that it was whipping up so nice and quickly. Like I was happy about it because I was, you know, being able to see real progress, and that always feels really good. But I was also kind of sad because I'm like, oh man, this one's gonna be over soon and I really like it. So actually out of my, what, like 5 finishes in the last year, 5 or 6? It's been more than that. Anyway, 8 or 9. 2, out of all the different designers I've stitched, 2 of them have been with a needle and thread. I really, really like her patterns, and before long I should probably have a finish on Winter Rose Manor. That one is such an enjoyable stitch. I just find that her patterns are really nice to stitch. So anyway, that was my finish. We're gonna go ahead and get into whips. I just want to remind you what you're looking at today. Behind me, I always have a collage of the projects I talked about last week. And so you can remember what I was doing, or I say last week, but I mean in the last video. So 2 weeks ago, these are all the projects I was talking about, and then next week you will be able to look at these projects behind me as I talk with you. Again, I said next week, I mean next video. It's so hard for me to be able to say next video. I always say next week or last week. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at my works in progress. If you remember, I drew 2 of them randomly with you at the end of last video. And then I threw a couple other ones in there that I wanted to stitch on as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, so we're gonna get into my new starts. So I have 3 because it was the final 3 days of Mania. So on May 21st, I started this piece, which is Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. I will put it up on the screen actually. And this is chart 1 of 9 in the House on Pumpkin Lane series, and I have only done this much, but I'm already obsessed with it. Let me tell you the reasons I'm obsessed. It's very cute, Blackbird reminiscent. The colors, though, are more punchy. They are a little bit more intense coloration-wise, but still not like super in your face. We don't have neons going on here, but it's a little bit more intense, like this orange, for example. So here are my flosses, and although I was just telling you that the colors are more punchy, then I remembered that I actually did my own floss conversion for this. So if you want them, you can let me know. Basically, I had a few of the flosses needed, and I was gonna need to pick up a bunch more in order to start this on the 21st. And I just decided that I wanted to start it sooner than later. So I just made up my own floss conversion. Now there's things like Weeks Dye Works Havana I didn't have, but I did have DMC 869, and that's the DMC conversion. So there are some of the DMC in here. There are some of the called for colors, but like copper, for example, from Weeks, I'm using that instead of glazed carrots because I didn't have glazed carrots, but I did have Gentle Arts Wood Trail, so I'm using Wood Trail. So it's kind of like a half and half. I just used what I had, and if I didn't have something, I was happy to just use a different color. I also have, there's some Forbidden Fiber Co. in here. So instead of Onyx, I'm using Black Magic. And then do I have an Evertote? I have 2 Forbidden Fiber Co. And that's it as far as non-mainstream overdyed. So I am just really enjoying this. So this is on a piece of 40 count, dyed by me. And this is like it's a dark rosy base that I started with, and then I added a lot of gray and a lot of pinky browns. So it's going to be interesting for sure, especially if I stitch a bunch of them on this piece, which I think I'm planning to do. So it'll be really fun. I'm not one to always choose the basic neutral for my pieces because I'm not stitching for the finished design or for the finished product. I'm stitching for the experience currently. So it's more fun to me to experiment with dyeing and be more playful with my choices for what I stitch on because that's more interesting to me. So This is really, really fun. This is a 97 by 87 stitch count, so it shouldn't take that long. The suggested is Dirty Teacup by Needle and Flax on 36 count, and this is 40 count. I'm doing one strand of floss, and it's just going to be so cute. It's going to look really, really different from the original because it's got that stark white background. So we'll see how that goes. I think it'll still be fun, and I am just really loving the design. So because this was a Mania start, I didn't get very far, as you can see, but I didn't even get into the house, but it's not that much farther down there. There's going to be a little bird right here, and then I get right into the house. So that's going to be really fun. This is now on my day 21 for my Mania starts. And if you're wondering what's on my nails, this is Put a Little Love in Your Heart from Moonshine Manny. The link to shop my nail polish brand is always in the description bar below. Okay, my next new start was on day 22 of Mania, so May 22nd. I did a little bit of something different than I said I was going to do. I said I was going to pick between a new Prairie Schooler Santa and starting February of the A Year of Celebration Season 2 from Hands On Design. And instead, I decided to scrap whatever I said in the last video and start them both rather than choose because I didn't want to choose. So I'm stitching this on a piece of 40 count hot cocoa from Be Stitch Me. I'm going to stitch them all together. I believe, I can't remember if it's 4 across or 3 across and then go down, but I'm going to put them all together because on 40 count, they're so small. I don't really want to make little pillows or little flat folds out of these. I think I'll just have them all, it'll be all together, and it's going to be really cute. If this looks a little different to you, I am stitching it using the Fat Quarter Shop conversion that I learned about on Nicole Spore's channel. It just changed a few of the colors, and honestly, it takes out the purple, which I like purple, so that would not be a natural choice for me, but I really liked how hers was looking, so I wanted to go with it. So there is a border if you go on, I think it is the Hands On Design website, so you can know how to put them. But basically you're just, you know, you're putting 3 crosses and then 2 and 3 and 2, and you have this little thing right here. So it's for free. You can find it on her website. So here's how far I got in the one day. And yeah, I think that's everything. So that's going to go on my new on my list for Mania for day 2022. Okay, my final new start for the foreseeable future for Mania 2023 was on May 23rd, and this is Santa, Prairie Schooler Santa 1993. So you guys remember this guy that I finished last year, and he's just so cute and tiny on this 40 count Stormy Night from Zweigart. So I decided I would like them all on the same gray blue fabric, and it has the printed modeling on it like Country Mocha. Even though I have whatever is the opposite of a green thumb, I still think this guy is really, really cute. So there are a few colors needed in this design that weren't called for in this guy, so I do need to add them to this kit, and I just kind of stitched around them when I was stitching on this day because I didn't want to spend time pulling and kitting this. I just wanted to get to stitching it, so I did, and that is how far I got in one day. Sometimes on Mania you have more time to stitch, and sometimes you have very little, so you do what you can. So anyway, I believe I'm just using DMC for these, except for the red. In all of the designs, I'm using a variegated red to give more fun to the red part of Santa. So I'm using Schoolhouse Red from Gentle Arts, and that is the only thing that won't be DMC here. So that's going to be my day 23 for my Mania draw. Apparently everything I'm stitching is a series that I'm going to stitch all on one piece. I'm getting pretty close to a finish on this one. This is the First Day of Christmas from Hello by Liz, or Hello from Liz Matthews. And this is day 1. And I'm going to stitch them all together just like, oh no, there's some little something on this fabric. Well, that happens. Just like the other one. So this should fit. This isn't as small as the others, but it should fit 3 wide. And here's the little thing that is on my fabric. So that's not great, but maybe it'll just be perfectly covered over by whatever is going to be going there. Anyway, I'm not going to stress too much about it. So this is using the called for DMCs, and there's also a layout for this, I believe, in the Hello from Liz Matthews Facebook group that will show you how to put them all together, like how much spacing and all that kind of stuff you need to do. So yeah, this is getting pretty close. I have a pair here, and then there's a bunch of stuff there. Now that we're not into new starts, I'm going to be showing you where I was at previously with each of these. I think there's just 4 things we're going to talk about now. Actually only 3, because my last one was a finish. So yes, I am getting pretty darn close to this. So you'll see this again on the 25th of June. So not for a little bit, but I have been plugging away at it 1 day out of each month, and so I am getting progress, and I really like it. So 40 count, I always stitch 1 strand on 40 count. If I didn't mention before, this is on a piece of hand dyed by me. Actually, everything you've looked at so far is hand dyed by me, with the exception of the Stormy Night. I didn't dye that one. So I think that's everything you need to know. All right, my next whip is Away We Ride from Blackbird Designs, and I was super excited when this one got randomly drawn 2 weeks ago because I love me some Blackbird. I really, really love stitching on Blackbird. It's just really happy comfort stitching. And the first time I stitched on this, I was a little bit disappointed that there was so much gray. It's 2 shades of gray here. But that didn't bother me at all this time. I don't know why it bothered me so much last time, but I actually got quite a bit done. I will put up the comparison photo as always. I put up the design for you, and then I put up my comparison photo so you can see where I've gotten to. I just love it. I love this border. Kind of looks like skulls to me. And it's just gonna be so cute. I am in the mood for Halloween stitching. Who is starting Halloween stitching right now? It's Halloween in June. They're doing all June Halloween stitching. I'm trying to think who it is. Oh, it's Cara Lee. I didn't mention her in the features this week because I've mentioned her before. I'll put the name of her channel down here. Anyway, she showed a whole bunch of Halloween stitching because she's going to stitch on Halloween for June, which is very exciting to me. So anyway, this is stitched on a piece of 40 count, hand dyed by me. There's some yummy kind of butterscotch toffee modeling that I've done here. And then it's using the called for flosses, 1 strand over 2 linen threads. And this was my random whip drawn for the last 2 weeks from like my whole list of whips. This was not a Mania draw. So my Mania draw was Be Ye Thankful. So the last whip that I'm going to show you is something that I chose using my little decisions wheel after this one. After I'd stitched on this for a few days, I decided to pick a new project. So I am just loving it. And actually, it's not gonna be that big. So there's still a lot of stitching left. I haven't even got to the house yet, but this isn't like as large as other things. So hopefully, you know, pulling this out a few more times and I'll get some massive progress done. The final whip that I want to share with you is Long Dog Sampler's Sneek, and this is the project that I chose directly after Away We Ride, but right before I decided to start stitching on Be Ye Thankful. And I feel like I got a lot done on this. So I believe last time, which you'll see up on the screen, I had done all of these letters, I believe. And so all of this was new, and I think I worked on this for maybe like 2.5 days. I'm going to zoom in here in just a second so you can see more of the detail. Long Dog designs are just so fun. And I'm doing this with 1 hank of silk from Mrs. Sadist Silks. It goes through this color variegation. So we have navy, it's a purpley navy, and so deep indigo up through this kind of sunset pinks and mauves and yellow orange. So this one is called Love from Mrs. Sadist Silks. Highly recommend. This is such a treat to stitch with. I just love it so much. So, and it really makes a long dog go a lot quicker if you aren't having to mess with where you're putting your colors. So anyway, I'm gonna push in here. So yes, here's what I got done. Just kind of a rambling of things. Actually, this first part up here was so nice because after you figured out the pattern of it, you could just go, and there's a lot of black work in here, as you can see. But yeah, this one, I didn't have to look at the pattern. I could just go, and then for here, I'm remembering now as I look at this that I started a new audiobook when I started working here. I'm listening to, it was a recommendation from Cam the Stitcher, and it is called The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And so as I look at this, I'm remembering the things I was reading / listening to while I was stitching on this. So anyway, this is kind of, I kind of had to look at my pattern a lot for here, but for going, you know, up and down these rows here, that was pretty easy and just a really satisfying, comforting stitch. So this is a 40 count piece of Zweigart that I over dyed. It has rose tones. I believe it started out with cream. So I layered some, this is the Be Thankful under there. I layered some rosy browns and then rose on top of it. And yeah, this is going to be Sneek by Long Dog. So I'm going to put up on the screen again what the whole piece is going to look like eventually. This will take me a long time, but I'm in no rush. It's just kind of about the process of stitching a piece like this with silk and just the delicious pull of the thread through and just kind of weaving your day through your piece. It's so nice. I really, really like it. So that was my final whip. Before we get any farther into this video, I want to talk to you about some channels that I've been enjoying lately that I don't think I've mentioned here on the channel before. I am subscribed to a lot of Flosstube on my Phoebe Moon channel. If you follow me over there, that's a channel about nail polish. I swatch and review nail polish on my Phoebe Moon channel. This channel is just about stitching. But if you ever get a comment from me on your Flosstube from Phoebe Moon, that's me, Moonshine Stitchery, and Phoebe Moon. We're all one and the same. But I'm subscribed mostly over there because that's where I'm subscribed to a lot of stuff for the last 10 years since I've been, actively watching YouTube. So anyway, so what I do is I look through my history and it reminds me what I've been watching in the last couple weeks. A stitcher that I've been really enjoying is Cam the Stitcher. I just really like her energy. She's really, really fun. I feel like she really knows herself and I enjoy her stitching. She's stitching on some different things than me, but I really enjoy it because I'm like, oh, that stitch along looks like it would be so fun, but I can watch her stitch it instead of stitching it myself because I know I have a hard time keeping up with stitch alongs. So I definitely recommend Cam, and she is stitching the Vanity Sampler from Hello from Liz Matthews, and she has a conversion that's like a gothic color conversion, which I plan on doing, so I'm really excited about that. I will probably convert it even further into some overdyed flosses, but I really like the colors that she picked. I saw them first on Bridge in the Museum Stitchers channel, and then that's how I found Cam. Actually, I saw it also on, is it Lauren the New Hampshire Stitcher as well? So many great floss tubes out there, but those are channels you've heard me talk about before. I will link all the new ones that I'm talking about today in the description bar below. So Cam the Stitcher, Mischievous Stitches is back. She had a long hiatus. I've been subscribed to her for a while since I first found Flosstube, and she's back, so I'm really excited. She's putting out new content. I found a couple new channels from, maybe it was Lauren the New Hampshire Stitcher, but she recommended Barbara's Daughter, and I've been catching up on her, and actually that is another person who took a long break from making videos, and I had been subscribed to her before, and I think like maybe I unsubscribed or something because she hadn't put out new content, but I'm back to following her, and she has so many great projects she's working on, so I really enjoy her. So just a heads up, if you previously were following Barbara's Daughter, she is uploading new content now. Another channel that I think I learned about from Lauren the New Hampshire Stitcher is Mrs. Smith Stitches, and she's a Canadian stitcher, and she has so many fun projects. She tries to stitch a lot from stash, so she's a good example to me. It reminds me whenever she says that, I'm like, I have so much good stuff in stash, I just need to pull from that, instead of needing really to buy all the new things all the time, but it's so fun too. But anyway, go check her out. I will put her in the description bar below. All the stuff that she's working on is super fun. And then another new channel that I want to share with you is Tammy Ernest. And I think that she said her channel is mostly about her quilting, but she does have a Flosstube section of her channel, so I went ahead and subscribed. It doesn't bother me that some quilting videos will show up in my feed because I really enjoyed everything that she's stitching on. So definitely go check her out. Her stitching is really, really beautiful. She has a bit of a different aesthetic than I enjoy. I find that I like things a little bit more colorful, but the same thing I find goes across the board. I don't like to necessarily just watch Flosstube of people who are stitching the same things that I would stitch. I like to see a lot of different things. So I really enjoyed her channel as well. All right, so next up we're going to do I want to announce the giveaway. I had a giveaway in my last video for the Blackbird Designs Loose Feather #1 that I finished into a pillow and absolutely adored. I had bought 2 of those pamphlets and I wanted to give one to one of you, so I'm going to go ahead and share that with you now, and then after that we're going to go into haul. Okay, so here is the chart that I have for today's giveaway. It's Spring Fever from Blackbird Designs, and the winner of the random drawing is Quila Bright. Thank you everybody for entering. Quila, if you will please email me at moonshinemanicontact@gmail.com. Thank you. Okay, so I do have some haul. I have 2 floss clubs that I still belong to, the Fat Quarter Shop MPI floss club. So this month we got all of these coral colors. So I am excitedly building up my MPI. And then instead of doing the fabric club right now, I'm doing Brandy's Silk Club. So we got these really pretty soft, light, summery shades here. And so this blue is Quest. The green is Firefly. The pink is Toe Beans. I don't know what that means, but I'm thinking it must be referencing something she thinks is funny. Mauve for this beautiful purple. And then this light golden honey is called Shortbread. Yummy. And then I have a few patterns to share with you. So 1884 Stitchery, I believe, got a big influx in her patterns because of purchasing from Stitch in Time, I think. I'm guessing that because of how it says that on there. So I'm a Plum Street collector, and so I picked up a few patterns that I didn't have yet. So we have Falling, and then we have Sweetheart Hill, which is so adorable. Red House, beautiful big blossoms, a heart, a couple, a beautiful saying. I love that whole thing. More awesome autumn stitching. This is Good Company. We have Babushka's Bees. And then we have Cotton Bird. And this is what actually made me shop in the first place because I didn't feel like I'd seen this recently anywhere. Maybe I'm mistaken, but... And then there's this fun patterning on this house. Usually I don't go for the Plum Streets that much that have the fully white houses. That just seems like it would be a nightmare to me. But I love the light blue in there, and I just think it looks really cute. All right, I will try to remember and put in the description bar below where I went to go shop for these things, but I also picked up chart 1 of 4 in the Betsy's Patchwork Basket series. I'm kind of in love with Pansy Patch, and she has all these series, and so this is the summer basket, and look at all those beautiful colors. And like I learned from the one that I started on day 21, she has really nice strong colors in there, which I really like. Then I also picked up a plant of rapid growth from Heartstring Sampler. I think everything cross stitch was having a, it might not have been from her. I can't remember. Anyway, it might have been, I'll have to look at my emails so I can link where I got these. And I love me some hands-on design lately, and I learned from somebody's Flosstube that her patterns are really good for learning new finishing techniques, such as this block finish. So I decided to pick up this patriotic one, though you actually get this piece of felt in here too, which is fun. So I figured I could try this and then it would teach me how to finish this way, and then I'd have more tools in my belt besides the basic pillow. So this is the 4th block party. And some more hands-on design. This is Beach Please with all of these teeny tiny little nautical motifs. It's so cute. I think I had this in a wish list for a while, and finally I was just like, yep, I'm gonna do it. And I want to finish it exactly like this, and I'm guessing because it's hands-on design, she's gonna tell me exactly how to do it. And the final piece of haul is from Tell an Emblem, and this is called Scissor Sampler. And somebody I watched recently finished this. Was it Yasmin Made with Love? Somebody, and it looked so beautiful that I just had to pick up a pattern from this company. And so I don't have immediate plans to stitch this, but I just thought it was so cute. Now that we've talked about finishes, starts, whips, and haul, we did the giveaway. Now all that's left is to talk about plans. So you know that always during plans I draw 2 random projects with you. I want to pick a project from my whole list of whips. So I pick one from that group, and then I pick a project just from Mania, because those are kind of like my focus pieces, so I'm trying to get those done a little sooner. So I'm going to pick those 2 random projects. All right, here's my new Mania whip list. So we are going to choose one random project for me to stitch on, and this is all my new whips, all the way up to 23. So this is a different list than you're used to. So here's what I'm going to stitch on. Oh, fun! Well, I'm not sick of this project, even though I just stitched on it the other day. We're gonna get back out February from a year of celebrations and get a little bit more progress on that. So that's gonna be great. So you'll see a little bit of progress on that. I've put that up on the screen so you can reference it. And then here is all my whips. So this has Mania and all my other whips, so I'm gonna choose a random project from here. So we're gonna do, oh my gosh, my Haid, the Grand Library. I have not stitched on this in such a long time. That's why I like randomly drawing my whips, because it makes me work on stuff that I still want to stitch. Otherwise I wouldn't keep it in my whip list. But I'm not like, oh, I really need to get that out right now. It's not on my mind. So I am going to get some more project. I have 2 full coverage pieces. I'm gonna put up on the screen. I have 2 full coverage pieces, and this is one of them. And the reason why this one doesn't have as much progress on the other one I'm doing Pain-Free Crafts Spring Montage. I'm doing it on an 18 count Aida. And this one I'm doing on 28 count Lugana over 1, and I did not start tent stitch. I started at full cross, and it's so small, you guys. So I haven't stitched on it in a while, so this will be fun to get this back out, because it will help me decide if I want to keep going with it in this size, or if I want to restart it just using tent stitch, or what I want to do. So if you want to see someone who has so much work done on this, Those Missing Stitches on YouTube, you maybe already follow her, but I love watching her updates because she's working on this, and I believe she's just doing 10 stitches, and so it's probably going a lot better for her doing that than how it's been going for me. But anyway, yes. So you will see work on both of those. Besides that, I plan to stitch, you didn't see it in today's video, but I'll have 4th of July, or 4th stitching I always do on the 4th of every month. I did that yesterday. It's actually today when I'm filming, but this doesn't go up until Monday. So you'll see that in my next video. And then I also have my anniversary stitching, which I do on the 10th of every month. I have Pretty Hawaii from Satsuma. I'll put this stuff up here so you can see, to commemorate an anniversary trip that I took with my husband. And so I'll have that on the 10th, and then I'll have the 13th stitching. And I really think that I want to pull back out Witchy Stitcher Supernatural Sal. I haven't completed a character on that in a while, and I really enjoy that stitch. It's one of my favorite Aida stitches that I have going on currently, so I'm gonna pull that out, I think, on the 13th. So that is the most of my plans, like what I I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna do between now and the next time you see me. So I hope that you have the best stitching time in the next couple weeks. It's summertime and it's still not super hot where I'm at, so I want to be outside a lot. So we'll see if that leans itself to very much stitching, but I wish you the best stitching and I hope you're having a good day. If you're not, a big hug from me to you. Thank you for coming to check out this video. I hope you subscribe, give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you back in a couple weeks. Take care until then. Bye.